So today we have the little Santo António run. Let's do this 10K. We have the little Santo António run. Let's do this 10K.
I've always been the one to say the first goodbye. Had to love and lose 100,000,000 times. Had to get it wrong to know just what I like. Now I'm falling. You say my name like I have never heard before. I'm indecisive, but this time I know for sure. I hope I'm not the only one that feels it all. Are you falling? Center of attention, you know you can get whatever you want from me. Whenever you want it, baby. It's you and my reflection. I'm afraid of all the things it could do to me. If I would've known it, baby, I would've stayed at home, 'cause I was doing better alone. But when you said hello, I knew that was the end of it all. I should've stayed at home, 'cause now there ain't no letting you go. Am I falling in love with the one that could break my heart? Oh no, I was doing better alone. But when you said hello, I knew that was the end of it all. I should've stayed at home, 'cause now there ain't no letting you go. Am I falling in love with the one that could break my heart? I wonder when you go if I stay on your mind. Two can play that game, but you win me every time. Everyone before you was a waste of time. Yeah, you got me. Center of attention, you know you can get whatever you want from me. Whenever you want it, baby. It's you and my reflection. I'm afraid of all the things it could do to me. If I would've known it, baby, I would've stayed at home, 'cause I was doing better alone. But when you said
got nowhere to put it. Tell me now, baby, are you in the mood? We'll take it down, and the lights get extra rude. Won't you show me what is on your mind? Till the end of time, till the end of time. Got nowhere to put it. Tell me now, baby, are you in the mood? We'll take it down, and the lights get extra rude. Won't you show me what is on your mind? Till the end of time, till the end of time. Tell me now, baby, are you in the mood? We'll take it down, and the lights get extra rude. Won't you show me what is on your mind? Till the end of time, till the end of time.
Mr. Knox, take a seat. Tell me what's going on.
There's a man inside my mind making noises. Somehow I feel like I don't have a choice in it.
Oh, okay. Tell me a little more.
He tells me I'm a chump and he tells me I'm broke. Waits around until I'm all alone.
What time? What kind of time of day, or what kind of things does he say?
At the most pale face when the day is just a dive. He's waiting in the corner where he drives. He's so alive.
Okay.
He's a creature of the night.
Is that so? What time?
When it's 2:45.
Making you mine, taking that rough sun, making it shine. Lately it's been tough, been playing my mind, and I don't talk about love so much these days. I find I've been wishing, looking for the morning mist where you come. I'm hoping I'd set through it all. Waking up, I'm beautifully blue. I'm beautifully blue.
Hey Siri, skip.
Say what you wanna say. At the end
put? Tell me now, baby, are you in the mood? Take it down, in the lights get extra rude. Won't you show me what is on your mind? Till the end of time, till the end of time. Tell me now, baby, are you in the mood? Take it down, in the lights get extra rude. Won't you show me what is on your mind? Till the end of time.
Saying this would be forever. Saying this would be forever.
I wanna talk to you. I wanna know the things you're thinking when you're feeling blue. Yeah, there's a million things I'm feeling when I see you move. There's an energy pulling me through. Yeah, you're a force and it's true. I wanna talk to you. Right now I'm looking in the mirror, building up the courage. I make believe you're staring at me and I start to worry, but I can't wait much longer. Yeah, I'm in an awful hurry. When I saw you, I knew. Saw you.
Thank you.